That's another stigma behind it is just you don't want to get help because as a man, you feel like you have to be the backbone and strong. And, that's our idea of being strong is not talking about our problems and just dealing with it inside internally. That's not really the way to set yourself free.
Authentic Talks is all about authentic conversations. This show is all about growth, love, respect, success, mind, body, and spirit. If you're looking to grow and become your authentic self, then this is the podcast for you. And I am your host, Shantae. Welcome to the show. Hi, you guys. Welcome back to Authentic Talks. Today, I'm really excited to bring to you guys a very authentic talk that I had the pleasure of having with a young man who was the first round draft pick in 2014. He played for 3 teams within the NFL, which was the Eagles, the Seahawks, as well as the team in Washington that will be formerly known as the Redskins. Today, he is a mental health advocate, an entrepreneur, a motivational speaker. He is also a father as well as a husband, and now he adds author to his title. Please welcome Marcus Smith II to Authentic Talks. Hi, Marcus. Welcome to the show.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm excited to have you here. How are you?
Man, I'm doing great. Excited to be on the show. Excited to be able to talk on Authentic Talks.
Right on. I'm excited to have you for sure. So, Marcus, can I have you introduce yourself to our listeners before we get started?
Yes. So I'm Marcus Smith II, 6-year NFL veteran, and I am a mental health advocate, entrepreneur, and motivational speaker too as well.
Wow, you got a lot of good stuff going on there.
Especially with the times and what's going on right now. Definitely trying to be very productive.
Yeah, definitely. How has the COVID-19 impacted your life?
It actually has impacted it a lot, especially because I have a daughter. So, she was going to daycare, so we really couldn't take her to daycare, even though that daycare was probably only had like 5 kids. But I mean, it's been pretty life shifting. I'm hoping that things go back to normal, but it seems like it's going to be the new norm for right now.
The new norm is, I don't know, shaping up to be, it
Yeah,
depends.
the new norm is basically you go outside, you got to wear your mask, and you really can't. Well, I know people sit down places, but you really can't sit down places. Well, I know my wife, she doesn't really want to go sit down places. You can't fly anywhere. Well, you can still fly, but we don't want to fly.
Yeah. How old is your daughter?
My daughter is 1. She'll be 2 in October.
She is super cute too.
Man, she's a bundle of joy. She's a bundle of joy, man.
Adorable. So you mentioned that you were in the NFL. Can you share with me like what that experience was like for you?
Man, it was a very, I would explain to anybody like my NFL experience, a very like roller coaster experience for me, almost like life, like life in general. So I was drafted to the Eagles in 2014 in the first round. I went to the University of Louisville, graduated 4 years with a communications degree. And then I got drafted to the NFL. And once I got there, it was kind of like a culture shock because coming from college to the pros, my college coaches was basically like father figures for me. So, and you don't really get the chance to have mostly an all-black coaching staff like in college, and I had the opportunity to have that. So once I got to the NFL, I was the first one in my family also to make it that far. So I really didn't have anybody in my corner to kind of like tell me what to expect and what was going to happen when it came to the NFL. But overall, it was definitely a lot of ups and downs. But at the same time, it made me stronger and it made me better. And I can stand before you today, a better man and a better player and a better just person in general.
Was that like a dream of yours as a young kid to go into the NFL?
Since I was 5, that was my dream to always make it to the NFL. Um,
Wow.
the funny part about that is, like, my dream was to make it to the NFL, so I never seen past making it to the NFL, right? So once I made it to the NFL and I walked in the locker room, I'm like, dang man, I'm really here. So
And
that was a
yeah.
that was a eye opener and a good deal for me and my family.
Were you ever like on the football field looking around like wow, like for a long period of time, or does that go away really quick?
It goes away, but I wouldn't say really quick
Mm-hmm.
because my rookie year, because everybody knows Tom Brady, right?
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, he's been playing since, I mean, when I was probably in third or fourth grade, like 2001, he was playing in the NFL. So my first college practice, we had to practice against the Patriots, and I'm standing on the sideline like, bro, that's Tom Brady. Like, like I play with him on the game. Like I don't play with nobody else on the game. Like that's the person that we call him the GOAT now. So yeah, it was definitely like, I would stand there and just, look at all the, because like being in an NFL stadium, man, and you have all these fans, it's very, it can get very, emotional because it's like, dang, man, I am really here and I'm really playing the game that I love. It's a kid's game. So, doing that at a high level and, you're with some of the best in the world. So it's a great feeling.
Wow, I think that's really awesome, like to have a dream when you're that young and then for it to come to life.
Right.
You know,
Yeah.
you have to have discipline.
I would say my dad definitely just kept me, away from a lot of distractions because I had a lot of distractions growing up, especially where I grew up in Columbus, Georgia. And everybody calls like Columbus, Georgia, like a crab in a bucket mentality. Like it's like people there that kind of like try to pull you down with them. And I think my dad did a really great job with me as far as not letting me get off track.
So you played with the Eagles and then you also played with another team as well, right?
I play with two other teams. I play with Seattle Seahawks and I play with the Redskins. Well,
Ah.
they're actually changing their name now.
Oh, because of all the stuff going on with like
Yep. With the Native American. Well, I'm Native American too. So, by the way, have
yeah.
that in blood.
Yeah, they said that I guess like running around with that the
You talk
mascot.
the Redskins, right? The Redskins.
Yeah, with that mascot. Isn't
hmm
it? Yeah, and I guess like I had heard about that some years ago.
Yeah, it was. It came out some years ago, and Native Americans were trying to get all the teams that had like the Cleveland Indians also, because if you go back in history, a lot of Native Americans were killed and by Europeans. So it's like with the name Redskin, it's just not suitable because if you look at any other race, right, and not any other race is named like a nickname. So I think that was like their argument, and like it shouldn't be. They almost kind of like portrayed it as like a racist thing, I guess.
Yeah. And I think unless you understand it, you wouldn't really know.
Right. Unless you like read up on it and really like enlighten yourself, you probably it probably like fly right over your head.
I think it did mine like growing up. I didn't realize it until they brought it up. I read an article and then I was like, I could see that now, you
Right.
know?
Yeah,
Not,
me too. Me too.
not cool.
I mean, I didn't really see nothing to it until I actually like read up on it myself.
Mm-hmm. What are they going to call themselves now?
I think it's out of the Red Wolves or like the Red Tails or something, which is it's gonna be so weird calling
Yeah.
them one of those names.
I agree. It is going to be weird. Did you keep all your jerseys when you were in the NFL or do you just kind of
Yes,
let that? Oh, you do?
I have my jerseys and I have some of my teammates' jerseys that I have to actually get framed. Yeah.
Oh, that's nice. You're an
Mhm.
advocate for mental health, and you have to share with me like how you came to this place of wanting to be a voice for mental health.
It all started. I was actually listening to a talk that Jay Barnett was doing because that's one of my mentors. I call him my mentor. And
I know Jay.
yeah,
Yeah, he is on the show.
yeah. So pretty much everything in life, like if there's a problem when you're a child or a teenager, a lot of those problems follow you to when you're an adult. So if you don't like take care of these problems, then once you get to an adult, it's going to be like even more, right? So when I was younger, I had anxiety issues and I had a lot of different anxiety issues, but the main one was I used to have anxiety attacks a lot. And I used to have anxiety attacks in my sleep. But my father or my mom, like the world that we live in, just being African American, we don't necessarily know, what anxiety is or what depression is. And they kind of look down on mental health, right? So I was never diagnosed. And I just had this problem and I never knew what it was. And so think about me dealing with anxiety in multi different ways growing up. And then once I get to the NFL, my anxiety really started to come out a lot more because it's more pressure that is added to my life, me being a first rounder, me being having to go out there and play and do my best, but also not having the mental fortitude to be able to bring myself along because again, I didn't have anybody in my corner necessarily to be able to tell me how things were gonna be, right? I just had to go out and off a whim. And oftentimes I talk about my parents, and I told you how my dad he made sure that I made it to college and that I was out the house and that I was staying on the right track. But the one thing that they didn't really know about was the whole anxiety factor. And once I got to the pros, the anxiety factor really started to come out like a lot, like so much so that I couldn't eat, I couldn't sleep, I couldn't prepare for a game. Like I played basically 5 years with anxiety and depression also because me not being able to handle my anxiety the way that I would have liked, I really thought I was helpless. So that put me in a depressed state. So I was depressed for 5 years and didn't even know it. I didn't realize I was depressed until I actually talked to a therapist after my 5th year, and I'll go into that in detail in a little bit. But my whole career, I can't believe I was even playing like this because, like before practice, I wouldn't be able to eat, so I had no appetite to eat. Right, I wouldn't get an appetite until afterwards. But me not having an appetite to eat, you need energy to be able to perform at a high level.
Yeah.
And I was a first rounder, so I knew that I had money invested with the team. So whether or not I was playing good or not, they had to keep me because they had money invested, right? So once I got to a place where, like, once I went to Seattle, when money really wasn't invested anymore, I started to worry a lot more. And because I knew I had a problem, but I didn't know how to fix it. And it started to wear on me a lot. It started to wear on me a lot. And then once I got to my 5th year with the Seahawks, it really came to a head. And this was a year that was really riding on a lot. I had signed a 1-year deal with them, and they call this what you call a prove it year, like to get a bigger contract. So I signed a 1-year deal with them, and I was stressing. I was going through a lot. I was having my anxiety attacks like usual. I was jumping up out of my sleep. My wife is looking at me like trying to figure out like what's going on, trying to help me. I'm keeping everything on the surface with her. I'm not telling her everything because men, we mask a lot of things. So I'm not really telling her how I'm really feeling. So one day I get up, this is before a practice. I get up in the morning, and my whole thought process when I get up in the morning, I want to kill myself. I wanted to be done because I was so sick and tired of dealing with what I was dealing with. Like I couldn't get a grasp on it. I didn't know how to release whatever I needed to release. I thought killing myself was the answer. That's how far I had got. Even my coaches, when I would walk in the building, they would ask me, "Are you okay? Are you good?" Like I had bags under my eyes. It looked like I hadn't slept like for a couple of days, and that's how it was because I was basically when I was asleep, I would basically wake up like every 10 to 15 minutes.
Did you know at that point that it was anxiety, or you still didn't know what it
So
was?
so I knew I started to figure out like when my wife came along, she started to tell me what it was, but now it was more so trying to control it. So now I'm in a realm of controlling it, but won't speak to a therapist because I'm like I don't need a therapist. Like I'm not crazy, right? Because that's what the Black community kind of like tells you about therapy.
Yeah.
You know, so,
Yeah.
and that's basically what happened. I was trying to control it on my own. And my thoughts of me killing myself, I didn't tell anybody. So I got up that morning and I got in my car and I started to ride to the facility. And on the way to the facility, it's a huge hill with rocks on the side. Like if you could picture this, like if you like drive off into these rocks, you're a dead man. And like the moment that I tipped the car to go over, my wife called me because she always calls me like on the way to the facility. So I get on the phone with her. She you can hear it in her voice. She's asking me, "Am I okay?" And she knows something isn't right, but she don't know quite what's going on. Right. So I tell her like, "Hey, I'm good. Whatever." I'm trying to rush her off the phone so I can get back to trying to do what I want to do. Right.
Mm.
So then I get off the phone with her and I started to tip my car again. And her mother calls me. So
Wow.
you can imagine me tipping the car and getting a phone call and then like I get scared and like shift the car back, right?
Uh-huh.
And by the time I get done talking to her, I'm at the bottom of the hill. And so
Wow.
once I get to the bottom of the hill, I'm like in a phase where I'm like, I don't want to play football anymore. I'm done. Like I really was just about to kill myself. And I went in and I told the head coach, Pete Carroll, that, hey, I need to take some time away and I really need to seek the help that I need. Because I'm a Christian as well. And a lot of times God brings you to a point where is nowhere where for you to turn except for him and to go get help, right?
Yeah, they call that bring you to your knees.
That's what I felt like it did. It definitely brought me to my knees. It brought my family to their knees because at the time my wife was pregnant and I wasn't even thinking about her. I wasn't even thinking about my daughter. Like I remember my wife walking in the building when she heard that I was walking away from the game and she heard that what I had did, she was bawling, crying because like she couldn't believe that she didn't know because she wanted to help, but she couldn't because I kept it on the surface.
Mm-hmm.
So once I started talking, I got the help that I needed. I started talking to a therapist and I really started to figure out, where this all stemmed from and where it all come from. And I knew right then, like, I have to talk about this more and I have to definitely be an advocate for it. But I never knew that I was going to be right where I am right now. And the last week, I posted something on Instagram about just purpose. And I got a DM saying that I basically stopped somebody from committing suicide. And that really, I felt like now this is my purpose. Like God is
Uh-huh.
telling me this is my purpose. Is guess what? I had people in my life that stopped me from committing suicide. And the fact that all I did was post a video about purpose and I helped somebody overcome a suicidal situation. I need to help more people like that. And I need to become a voice and start to talk and start to speak up and speak out so we can get more men out there talking about their feelings and being vulnerable and not keeping all of the trauma that has been passed down to us from slavery to now. We got to start talking out and talking about it because it only kills us slow in the inside by keeping it in.
What do you think that stigma is that's there when it comes to therapy, when it comes to mental health, or is it mental illness that the stigma is centered around?
I think the overall aspect of just mental health in general, like as a kid, when you hear mental health, you automatically think like, oh no, he's crazy, right? Because that's what your parents say. But
Right.
the stigma behind it is, well, I'm gonna start off with sports. Being a football player and being a man in football, it's a persona that you have to be strong. You have to not be weak. You can't be vulnerable. Toughen up. Like it is what it is. Um, like ain't nothing wrong with you. Like you need to get yourself together. And I think in sports and NFL in general, I think the stigma is just behind like men not being able to express that they have weak moments and that they're scared at times and that they actually do have emotions and feelings and stuff. And that's why you see a lot of, if you go back and look at the track record, look up NFL players after they're done playing. And you'll see, some guys that just go off the deep end because they don't know how to conduct themselves when they're done playing the game because they have been holding everything and all the trauma that they was going through during the game. Now they don't know what to do with it, and they won't go to therapy either.
So what happens? Do they just kind of lose their mind all the way, or?
A lot of it is not having a sense of identity,
Oh.
because you are first of all, I'm Marcus Smith person, right? When a football player starts to think that way, then I feel like they have a better chance of like moving on to something else. But when you think of yourself as, oh, I'm just, because people only see you as a football player right now if you're playing, in the NFL. And some people just take that with them afterwards. And once the fans are gone, once everything is gone, once the money stops, it can become very stressful to a person that doesn't really have an actual plan for when they're done playing.
Yeah, I could see how that could definitely make a person feel a certain type of way.
Yeah.
So that's what I was wondering. Like when it's in the fantasy part, I think that's when it's like that. That's like ego, right?
Right. Right.
Yeah.
And
Which we all have one. Everybody has one, but it's
like you want to keep doing the same thing. Like a lot of guys go broke too as well because they might have been like big millionaires or go broke because they might have been spending a certain way while they're playing. And then once they get done playing and they're not making exactly what they were making, unless they have, something else that they were doing, then it's just money going out with no money coming in. And you have to be able to manage what you spend and how you spend. And that could take a toll because now it's a family round, right? And if you don't have the right woman, if you don't have the right people beside you at that point in time, then it can get really sticky.
yeah, I can only imagine. So when you're going out and you're talking about mental health, who is your audience? Are you talking to men? Are you talking to young boys and teens as well, or just everybody?
I think more so my audience is men from an age of 18 to maybe 45. but I want to get into the realm of teens and more younger guys too as well, to be able to help them come out. And then also I want to be able to, because I haven't really, I wanted to be an all round spectrum, because what I found out was that, so my wife, she graduated from the University of Penn, and it was a statistic at Penn that said 13 students committed suicide
Oh, no.
in the last 2 to 3 years, right?
Wow.
And so at that point, I knew that it's not just this realm, it's every realm. Everyone needs this. Everyone needs to hear it, because it can only help. And being at an Ivy League school, a lot of these kids are the smartest where they come from. So now you come in, it's just like football. It's just like anything that you're doing in life, where you might be the best at what you're doing in high school, right? And then in college, you get with everybody that's the best at what they do. And so some kids don't know how to factor that in, and don't know how to like maneuver through that. And if they get a B or if they get a C, then they feel like their life is over, right? Because all they have been ever doing was being successful in life. And to them, a bump in the road is like, I'm going to kill myself, right? Because I think a Japanese girl, she jumped in front of a train because she
Wow.
couldn't handle the pressure of what, the University of Penn, brought. And I definitely seen it firsthand. It's a lot. It's definitely a lot.
I do definitely think that it's a everybody message. And I do understand that, like, with men have a little bit of a difficult time with expressing certain things. And everything that you said, honestly, Marcus, is on point about it. And so I'm glad that you're out here sharing your message and making it known that there should be no fear behind getting the help that you need.
Right. Yeah. That's a stigma. That's another stigma behind it, is just you don't want to get help because as a man, you feel like you have to be the backbone and strong. And, that's our idea of being strong, is not talking about our problems and just dealing with it inside, internally. That's not really the way to set yourself free and maneuver through life.
Mm-hmm. How are you managing with your anxiety today?
I still deal with it, even when like I might have to speak or anything like that. I still feel my anxiety, but now it's just about talking to myself and controlling it. And I still speak to my therapist every once a month. But we talked about like different tactics to control the anxiety. And really, anxiety is just, to me, anxiety is just like what's about to happen. So
Mm-hmm.
you start to get this feeling like when you are, about to speak, or when you have to speak in front of, like, I would never think I was going to speak, because I will always choke in front of a lot of people. Like I've never, like when I got a chance to speak in front of my high school, like I had to walk out because it was getting too overwhelming, and it was just not, I couldn't do it. And I ended up having to come back like later on and, try to finish. But now, I didn't know that, I could talk to somebody and find ways to really control something that has been passed down to me that my parents still haven't recognized with themselves yet. I'm trying to pry it out of them, but they're still like, anxiety, what? Like,
Yeah.
you got anxiety? What is that? So
Yeah.
I'm still trying, because that's the mentality, especially with, my parents, they're in their 50s. So that's still kind of the mentality. So, if we can start young, we can kind of like pry that, open. So it won't,
Mm-hmm.
so guys won't feel, or women won't feel so like feel wrong or bad for like, man, you know what? I'm gonna go talk to somebody because I can't get a hold of this, and I need to talk to somebody that's unbiased, that doesn't know me from a can of paint, and that will just listen. And you will find out so much. I found out so much about myself, me just talking. I'm like, wow, like I
Mm-hmm.
didn't even. I needed to release that. Jesus.
Well, that's good that you were able to find out what it was that was impacting your life. And instead of allowing it to control you, I love the fact that you're now controlling it, controlling your anxiety. And yet we all have a form of it. Everybody has that. And it is about like having the tools to get you through. And then some people just have it like more,
Right.
like a lot more than other people. And so,
Right.
do you think that if you had, which, I mean, we could talk about shoulda, coulda, woulda, right? But do you think that if it had been like, if you were aware that it was okay to talk to someone when you went into the NFL, that you would maybe have not wanted to quit?
That's a good question. I don't know. I don't know that answer,
Mm.
but I think the reason I will say this, the reason that I never wanted to talk to anybody and I used to just throw this whole thing to the side and just used to deal with it on my own. Like I used to lose weight and everything. Like I couldn't function at all. And I don't even know how I was playing like that, to be honest. But in the NFL, it's also another stigma that the owners, the coaches, and everybody, they look down upon that too because they want people that are mentally tough,
Mm, mm,
right? So
right.
if I'm showing that I'm not mentally tough, then I'll get released or I'll get cut or they'll talk about me. And I'll tell you one fun fact about me.
All right. Yay, we get a fun fact.
Well, it's not really a fun fact, but
Oh, not a fun, like,
not a fun, but it's a fact though.
okay.
So when I decided to leave Seattle and to pursue my health and really get myself back together, my agent told me, and I never knew this, but my agent told me that what was on the scouting report when I got drafted was that I had been mentally abused. And so when he said that to me, I'm like, well, that kind of has a lot of like some truth to it because even though like my dad was like, push me to not to, mess up also,
Mm-hmm.
but he didn't physically abuse him, but like his words were very powerful. And I took that with me everywhere I went because sometimes like what he used to do and what he used to say and things of that nature, it will still be with me when I go other places. And it kind of like stemmed down to like me wanting to just like make my dad happy. And I felt like I just couldn't never make him happy no matter like how much like he never it's almost like breaking somebody down, breaking somebody down, breaking somebody down, but never kind of like building them up.
Mm-hmm. What was
So
he what would he say? Like he just wanted you to be like tougher and like
he just I think if I can remember correctly, he just used to. It was a lot of degrading stuff that he would say, but I don't blame him because it was just that's how my grandmother was. So
mm-hmm.
he was doing only what he was taught. So so if let's say I had to take the SAT 4 times, right? And the first time I took it, it was more like why in the heck you get this score? Like, come on, man, what are you doing? Right? Rather than like, son, you got it. We'll just take it again. Like you gonna be all right. Let's go. Right? So
Mm-hmm.
it was more of a method of like talking down rather than speaking up. And
Right.
once I got to college and once I got to the pros, I didn't know how to build myself up. So if somebody was tearing me down, I was down. And I didn't know how to bring myself back up. So that's a whole nother round too as well that brought on anxiety and that brought me depression because if I didn't think my coaches like me, I didn't have no confidence in myself. I was just like, well, I must not be good then. That was my mental that was my mindset. But I didn't
Mm-hmm.
have anybody there to tell me like, hey, you gotta change your mentality. You
Mm-hmm.
know, my parents was like, or my dad was, oh, you ain't playing. You know what I'm saying? Why am I gonna come to a game and you ain't playing? That's what they used to tell me. So
Oh.
you can picture me at a game, right? After
Mhm.
the game, everybody family is waiting on them. You think my family waiting on me? Except unless my mom is up there, right? But as a man, who do you want to see after the game? For real.
Your family, the people who care.
Right. You want to see I want to see my dad
Mm.
because I wanted to see how proud he was in his face. And for
Mhm.
2 years I really didn't see that because I wasn't really playing. I wasn't really getting any playing time like that.
Mhm. How did they end up knowing about like writing that on your profile?
You talking about the scouts?
Yeah.
So when the NFL, when they have prospects, they go back all the way to elementary school, like, and they
Uh,
go talk to everybody and find out everything about you. I don't know who told them that, honestly, and I
mhm.
had no clue that that was on the scouting report. But I was definitely like, yeah, that definitely has some truth to it. And I wrote about it too. I have a book coming out that I wrote about. That's just my story in general.
Author, you're adding author to your
Yeah,
resume.
yeah. I have one book. Well, it's a book that I have two books. One book is about my daughter, Sarai. It's a children's book, and
Oh.
then I have another book that's pretty much my story. And I haven't decided what I want to call it yet, but it's in the making. And I definitely want to write more. Have to write more, actually.
Oh, so you're gonna be like the author, author.
I got
Marcus.
I gotta follow the wave of Jay, man. You know,
He paved
I,
the way.
man, he definitely paved the way, man. Like I really look up to him a lot. Like I don't even think he understands like how much I look up to him. Like,
Oh, that's so cool.
yeah,
So what is the name of the book that you wrote for your daughter?
it's gonna be called Bath Time with Sarai.
Oh, what age group is the book?
So it's gonna be anywhere from 3 to 7, I believe.
Okay, because
But
nowadays we start reading to the kids. They barely 1 years old, and we be like reading to them.
man, my daughter, she's 1 and she's saying complete sentences. So
Wow, that's awesome.
yeah, it's wild. I was like, you get it from your mom because I know I'm slow.
Oh, uh-oh. Hey, there we go. There we go. We got to work on that mindset. You get it from your mama, but you got some of that from me too.
Yeah, exactly. I got to change that.
Yeah, yeah. Even if it's you got 80% from your mom, but you got that 20% from me.
Right, right.
Yeah, So when is the other book out? Bath Time with
No, not out yet. Probably more so at the end of August, early September, it'll come out.
Oh,
And I,
so it'll be out in time for everybody to buy like a Christmas gift for the kids and have a stocking stuffer.
yep, right, right.
Oh, that's cool. And even before then, but in time for like the holidays too. That's so awesome.
Yes, it's just like just being a black father, and I know a lot of it's a stigma behind black fathers and them being deadbeats. So it's just a way to kind of show them all of us are not like that, and we actually do take the time out to spend time with our daughters. Like a lot of daughters don't have their fathers in their life, and I really want to showcase that. I always, give her a bath and I always put her to sleep, and that's my time with her, whether, throughout the day or whatever, she might be doing stuff with her mom, we might be doing stuff together, but her mom always gives me that time with her. And I just think it's important, very important.
Yeah, I think it is too. And I absolutely love that because there is a stigma within our culture about fathers, and do you think there's some truth to that they're
Uh,
deadbeats?
I think I wouldn't say, I never say deadbeats just because I look at it in a different lens. I look at it as a black man getting caught in the situation, because a lot of times they're not equipped yet to be a father, so we run. Now, if you're of age and you run, then shame on you.
Right.
But if you are 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, even, early 20s, a lot of times guys run because it's like they don't know how to be a father and what to do. And quite frankly, they shouldn't have laid down with the person. But if they don't have that role model or that figure in their life to push them to say, look, you got to take care of this responsibility. This seed is going to need you, right? It's the sin is the act. The child is not the sin.
Right.
So we have to keep that in mind because the child didn't ask to be here.
That's so
So
true. So are you going to be doing some speaking engagements where you're traveling around the globe?
yes, I'm not gonna say yes. I want to, given the climate right now, it's kind of hard to do so. Me and Jay actually talked about doing, a tour, going around the world speaking. Soon as everything kind of like opens up a little bit, then we can kind of like do so. But right now, I'm just doing podcasts like this and just trying to find ways to speak on Zoom or IG Live or whatever it may be to kind of like just get the message out there and just stay. It's almost like football, kind of. If you want to stay good at football, you have to have repetition. So
Yeah.
it's the same thing. I just I want people to hear me and really maybe I can save a life today. I don't know, just by him or her hearing my story.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so true. Well, I think that's good what you're doing. And I could see you traveling around the globe when things get better. And I could see you even taking your family.
Yeah, yeah. I would
I,
love it.
yeah, I could totally see it. You know what? I heard that everybody should go to Tokyo.
Man, I want to go. There's some places that I definitely. I actually have. So I have a foundation. It's called Circle of M Foundation. We just got a 501c.
It's
The,
called Circle of M
yeah,
Foundation.
yep, the Circle of M Foundation, and it's
Oh, okay.
just me and my circle, and it's based around mental health. And one of the people that's on my board, her name is Adoma, and she just the other day, hit me with an opportunity possibly in Africa. And a lot of African, now I'm not gonna say African Americans, Africans, they think of mental health as witchcraft over there. So
Wait, and what do you mean?
like
That someone put something on you?
yes, yes, and they think something is wrong with you. Yep.
Oh.
So they're trying to change that whole narrative over there. I might have the opportunity to speak over there. Might have opportunity to speak in London, maybe Dubai. So I'm just trying to be patient. It's hard to be patient, but I'm looking forward to what's coming
What's
up.
to come? I say definitely enjoy this time because when it comes, you're gonna be like, "Woo! I can't even get a break."
Man, Jay, what's so funny? Jay keep telling me the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you got time, bro. It's all right, bro. Like,
Mm-hmm. For real. And because then you're gonna be like, "Woo! I can't wait to get back to the States." I heard people tell me that sometimes it got to the point where it just felt good to sit still just for a couple weeks.
right,
And then they were back at it again. Like something happens all around the globe, Canada, like to
right.
the other side, and places that I didn't even realize like wanted people to come to speak.
Yeah, I didn't realize that's the same thing with me. I didn't realize that till I actually started looking into it. Like, wow, man, they speaking is really a thing.
Yeah, it actually is. It's you're able to inspire so many people. And when you write your book, when the book comes out, it adds to that platform where people are like, they put you on different lists to come and speak because of your memoir. Memoir? I think they call it memoir, Yeah.
Yeah. That's why I gotta write 2 books is not enough. I got more in me. I gotta write more.
So do you enjoy reading?
I do not. I'm not
Oh.
gonna lie. It's not something that was instilled in me at a young age, but I am getting better with
Mm.
it. But I think writing for me is therapeutic. After I wrote my last line, because I wrote it first and then I typed it. After I wrote my last line, like I cried like a baby because it was so like heart filling, and I was just so amazed that I actually
Did
put
it?
I put it on paper and I finished it, and it was just the awesome morning, I should say.
Mm-hmm. I can relate to what you said that writing is therapeutic, and I journal.
Hmm.
I write everything out. I've had days, Marcus, where I was sitting at my desk and I was feeling so stressed out or frustrated.
Right.
It could be both. And all I had in front of me that I could get a hold of was a sticky note. And you
Mm,
know, you know the size of the regular square sticky notes?
right. Yep.
I wrote a whole dang on letter to God on the front and the back of that. Because
Man.
sometimes I just start talking to God, or I'll just be like, or either I'll just start writing like affirmations.
Right.
And I'll
Right.
put them, and I usually write gigantic where I can barely fit my name on one of those. But shoot, when I'm stressed out, I'm able to control that pen.
I'm telling you. Yeah.
Yeah. And it is very therapeutic. So, do you think that you'll be offering a journal or something in the future?
Possibly.
Yeah.
Possibly. I know my mother-in-law. She's actually a minister.
Mm-hmm.
She has created like a couple of journals that kind of like inspire me to kind of just think about it even more. But I feel like me writing about my story and kind of like leading up to me almost killing myself and stuff. It's some stuff that how you have a story, but then you have a spinoff.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a lot of stuff in between in my life that I didn't write about that I want to go back and just write about.
Mm-hmm.
And it's so much stuff, man, that especially coming up in my culture, like the things I seen when I was younger and how I was exposed to different stuff at a young age. It was very it shaped me the way I am now. But I promise you this, a lot of that stuff, my daughter would not. She gonna be, man. No, I can't.
Yeah, yeah. That's amazing how we grow up, each generation, you grow up and your parents are a certain type of way because they were raised in a certain culture. And then it's amazing to me how I can see it unfolding with each generation and becoming better and better and better.
Right,
Like breaking those chains.
right. And well, if you think about it, so if you think about our ancestors, right, they were slaves,
Mm-hmm.
but they couldn't do anything about it. They couldn't talk to anybody about it. So that same trauma is passed down,
Mm-hmm.
and we are still dealing with those same things today. And also just like things that like my parents, things that they were exposed to at an early age, or even if like one of the biggest things for me, just as a father that I seen, like my mom, like they used to let me go over people's houses and stuff like that. But sometimes when I would go over people's houses, I could do more over another's house than somebody else's. You get what I'm saying?
I do.
So if I might get exposed to something that I don't need to be exposed to at a young age. And, I felt like at a young age, my innocence was taken away from me, early. So I want to write about that.
Mm-hmm. Innocence and like what way? Like,
Like, I mean, I'll be candid. Like the first time I seen breast, right? I was visiting my uncle in Tennessee, and
mm-hmm.
probably like 7 or 8 years old. And we were still up. Everybody was asleep. And this is a thing that my cousins, that is a thing that they did all the time. They were watching BET Uncut, watching all the late night nudery, like I don't even know if it's nudery, like nude stuff,
Uh-huh.
right? And
Yeah.
I have never seen that, and I remember it making me feel like a certain way that I never felt before. And after that, after that I wasn't the same, like as far as like innocence, because now I knew what things were and what I don't think as a 7 or 8 year old it was meant for me to see that.
Mm-hmm. I understand. So your parents, they were like, you were basically age appropriately being raised.
Right.
Yeah.
So, well, hold on, when you say that, when you
Like
say
meaning, well, like at 7 or 8, like at your house, you hadn't had that happen.
right, right, yeah. So my parents, the first time I listened to cursing music was with my uncle. My parents, they listen to R&B. They listen to that's why I know all like the old music, the good music. You know, but my
Uh-huh.
uncle was more so. He was younger than my dad. He was more so the younger generation coming up, and he was more so in the Outcast and all of those people. And he had like the dirty version, and we was listening to the dirty version. So that was my first time like ever being able to like listen to the bad stuff. You know,
Mm-hmm. How are you going to raise your daughter? You think you're going to have her where she's like, like age appropriate?
I'm not going to let her just. Me and my wife talk about that all the time. I'm not going to just let her go over anybody's house. And if it's somebody's house that we go over, it's going to be somebody that we trust. And, I think just with her growing up, I'm going to be honest with her, and she's going to know everything about me, everything that happened in my life. Like when it's time for her to know, she's going to know. So, it's still things about my dad and my mom that I don't know. And even with my dad, it's like, yeah, he's my dad, but it's some things that go on with me that I'm like I'm a part of you, like so you have to be going through something, or you went through something like this, or he just won't talk about his feelings. So I'm trying to get him to open up too, and it's hard for him. It's definitely hard. I know he's been through some things too, but I think that's the biggest thing with raising your children. You just want to be upfront with them, and let them know ahead of time, and not you have to not be a hypocrite too as well.
Mm-hmm. Like help them walk through their walk of life, and
Right.
yeah, like, oh, I had that too before, or either, your uncle had that or your grandma had that, and this is what,
Right.
yeah.
Right.
I totally can relate to what you're saying. So your parents are still very much involved in your life now?
Yeah, I mean, my parents are divorced. They've been divorced since I was fourth grade. That was another thing that kind of, was hard on me at a young age too, because I seen a lot. I wrote about that too as well with them, getting divorced. But yeah, they always been in my life. Me and my dad kind of had a gray area, once I got to the NFL, because he had his way, I had my way, and but we talk now a little bit. I'm trying to get them to open up a little bit more. I'm asking them more questions and stuff. They always been there.
Mm-hmm. That's good that they always been there. And well, Marcus, I say congratulations on both of your books.
Thank
And
you.
I'm going to be on the lookout for them. And when it comes out, I'm going to post it and be like, Marcus got a book. His book came out.
If you want
uh,
to look out for some apparel too, I got apparel coming out too.
oh, yeah.
Mental health apparel. It's just shirts and
Is that the name of it? It's called Mental Health Apparel.
no, it's gonna be, the shirt is called mental. It's gonna say mental or men. So it's mental health, like so it has men on it and then mental health, and then
Oh.
the other shirt is in the stigma.
Oh,
So
I love that. In the Stigma. I like them both, but In the Stigma seems like it really caught me. Yeah. Wow,
yeah,
that's pretty cool. And then where can people find where would they be able to find the shirts?
So they're gonna be on my website. My website is called marcussmith2nd.com. And I will start, like, once everything is finished, I'll start promoting it on my social media platforms, and then they will be on the website, and you'll be able to go click and if you want a shirt, you can buy a shirt.
Ah, that's cool. And your books will be on your website as well when they come out?
Yes.
Okay, got it. MarcusSmith2nd.com.
Yep, marcussmith2nd.com. Yep.
All right, got it. Wow, Marcus, you keep on doing you. Keep on spreading the message and, helping. I feel like your message is going to help like a lot of people, like young people who are getting ready to even go into the NFL or coming out of college or going into college. They may be having some of the same things, experiencing some of the same thing. I think it is. I know that it will. It will. We're just going to put that out in the universe right now.
Yeah, let's put that out there.
Yeah, that it is going to help a lot of people. I know that it is, because this is a real thing. This is like real. This is not like some.
You definitely have to understand that everybody doesn't grow up mentally tough. Everybody don't come from the same background. So you got some of those players that are just not mentally strong. And if they had, somebody in their corner like me, maybe, or like a Jay or somebody that they can like listen to, or, whatever, or, how they do YouTube or whatever now, maybe it could help them along.
Absolutely. It will. I think that it definitely will and can, because it's like a real thing. I've heard several people talk about different types of mental illnesses. And I think the problem is that when people say mental illness, and then what it is that everybody wants to separate it.
Mm-hmm.
Have you heard about that?
Yeah.
Like, okay, wait a minute. This is a mental illness. What are you talking about? I'm just feeling a little depressed. And then it's like, wait a minute, mental illness. I just have anxiety. It's not like I'm crazy. Yeah. But I had to even understand that umbrella myself. And then I was like, oh, okay, I get it. It doesn't mean it, like they just put it in the, like group it together.
Right.
Yeah. I think we're kind of getting used to it. The more you keep talking, and the more your Jay keeps talking, and, stuff like that it makes people become more aware and stuff, So I say definitely keep doing you. And I do appreciate you coming on and talking with me anytime. You're welcome back anytime. I do appreciate you sharing your story.
My Instagram is moneymark91.
Moneymark91 for Instagram.
So MONEYMARC91. And then my Twitter is just Marcus Smith II.
So you guys, if you want to find Marcus, you can go to marcussmith2nd.com or Instagram.
Moneymark91.
Oh, I'm sorry. I
actually need to change that, but it's a lot of Marcus Smith, so I got to figure out a way to change it.
Oh, no, you're fine. Moneymark91. And then Twitter, you're Marcus Smith II. Marcus, thank you for coming on and having that authentic conversation with me. I really enjoyed talking with you, and I know that we'll talk again and you'll be back at some time in the future. You guys, you can find all of the information for Marcus located in the show notes, and please be on the lookout for his t-shirt line as well as both books. There's Bath Time with Sarai coming out at the end of this month, I believe. Look up Marcus's information so that you're able to follow on his website to find out exactly when the books will drop. You guys, if you are someone maybe thinking of suicide or have thought of suicide, please talk to someone now. There's people out there available to talk with you 24 hours a day. The National Suicide Prevention Lifeline number is 1-800-273-8255. Talk to someone. It's okay to talk. I enjoy having these conversations around the stigma that has been built within the community around mental health. You guys, let's keep these conversations going. And Marcus, thank you so much for what you're doing. Let's keep those conversations around mental health going, bringing awareness and elevating those conversations. Thank you all so much for tuning in. I'm Shantae with Authentic Talks.